this is going to be a sort of series kind of thing across the summer. Every couple of weeks we'll probably do one of these. We did one of these about, like 2-3 weeks ago now. And yeah, we're going to do another one here just because quite a bit has happened in terms of transfers been made, rumours, sales, all across Europe. So yeah, we're going to discuss some of those in today's video. Not really any sort of script or anything. Just just going to give my general thoughts on some of those moves and rumours. Of course, this is just as of recording, so maybe some of the things I discuss may be, developing by the time you watch this, but most of the things I will be talking about would have already happened. We're going to talk about some of the Premier League stuff, Man United, they've been making a lot of moves. We'll talk about some of the other moves that have happened in the Prem, Chelsea, as we always do. We'll talk also about across Europe, PSG, Saudi, Mbappe, all of those sorts of stuff. Yeah, we'll probably talk about some of those guys. So, yeah, let me know your thoughts on any of the transfers that have happened so far in this window, how you think some of the players will do, and anything we discuss in this video. We'll also do a little bit of gum chewing as well in the background because we haven't done that in a while, but I'll make it nice and slight for you guys. So let's pop that in. And we always have to, if you've been watching the channel for a while, right. I think we'll begin with the Prem moves. And we'll talk specifically about Man United. Because Man United have been very active in recent weeks since we've really done my last video. Both in terms of sales and outgoings. And that's something which has surprised me and many United fans because typically United are one of the slowest movers in the transfer window. They rarely work on two things at once. It's always chase one transfer, get that done, then sell one player, then get one player in, then sell one player. They never seem to know how to multitask. But they have been under the new ownership, so fair play to them. And you know what? I'm going to give them some credit. I think they've made some really interesting moves. So, Joshua Zirkzee was the first one to join. From Bologna, the striker, the Dutch striker. I think it was around 40 million or so. It was a release clause. Now they were going to get he was going to go AC Milan, but United came calling, and Milan didn't really want to pay the fee, so he's gone United, and this is an interesting move. It's an interesting move. I think another striker was definitely necessary. Last season Rasmus Højlund, he played pretty much every game, and you saw good striker, but he's still quite young, very raw, needs to be rotated out of the side when necessary. But we had nobody last year who could actually rotate with him, so bringing in another striker in Zirkzee is a good piece of business, and hopefully those two can rotate, provide decent competition to each other. What I would say though is, obviously I think they were a bit pressurised by the release clause and AC Milan, but I am surprised that he's like the first signing they made. I would have thought signing a backup striker would kind of be like a bit lower on their priorities, there are still places in my actual starting 11 who, when they need addressing, so I thought it would have addressed that first, but still, getting Xerxes in, I think that's a decent move. I can't say I know tons about him and watched loads of him, so I'm not going to comment really too much on how I think he'll do, but he's fairly young, and yeah, as a decent backup I think for Hoyland. There'll be plenty of minutes, Europa League and to rotate with Hoyland, so yeah, not bad signing that one, not bad signing. The other one is Lenny Yoro, though, who they have signed for around 50 million from Lille, the centre back. Now, Yoro, they technically snapped him up from Real Madrid. Real Madrid were very, very keen on him. They have been keen on him for a very long time, and it seemed like he was going to go Real Madrid. He definitely wanted to go Real Madrid. But with Yoro, he only had 1 year left on his deal, and Madrid were only prepared to pay around 30 million. They said, we're going to pay that. If Lille don't accept it, then we are willing to wait for you and get you on free next season. Man United came in and paid 50 mil, but it was obviously down to Yoro if you want to accept that. Now, he did eventually accept United, but to be honest, I don't really like this narrative. Oh, he turned down Madrid for United. Not really. That's not quite how it worked out. Let's be real. If Real Madrid had put in a 50 million bid and had a bid accepted by Lille, he would be in a Real Madrid shirt right now, and he would have been. There was no chance in hell he was going to accept Man United if Real Madrid had a bid accepted. Apparently, I don't know how true this is, but technically Lille were threatening him, saying, if you reject United and you stay here for another year, we're not going to play you, you're going to sit on the bench. Which is kind of fair enough, to be honest, as Lille, because, they got a brilliant offer for a player and this player doesn't want to go. So yeah, I completely understand Yoro making his move, because it's not like it's some bum club, it's Man United. You go to one of the biggest clubs in the world still, and Real Madrid were not going to get a bid accepted. It was realistic they're not going to get a bid accepted. So it's either waste another year at Lille, and you never know. This is football. He could potentially do his ACL during that year, and then suddenly that Real Madrid deal is off the table. So you might as well take the deal now, or on the table and go United. Now, from a United perspective, now Yoro is very, very promising, very, very promising. He's only 18, 19, something like that. I do think they slightly overpaid for someone who's that young. 50 mil and he's only got a year left on his deal is a bit crazy. People have been saying, he's the next Saliba. I think he's actually got more hype coming out of Ligue 1 than Saliba did, to be honest. But, as we kind of saw with Saliba, let's not expect too much. Saliba was eased into this Arsenal team. He had many loans and stuff, so I'm not sure if Yoro actually starts. But I won't put too much pressure on him to succeed straight away. He's very, very young. It's a risky signing from United, but it is a statement of intent, I guess. Now, interestingly, again, I don't know how much is into this, but obviously, we spoke in the last round about Matthijs de Ligt. Matthijs de Ligt looked like he was joining United, but then they went and got Lenny Yoro as the opportunity arose. Now, from what I can understand, that Matthijs de Ligt now is probably not going to join unless they sold. Might just sell Lindelof and Maguire or one of them. And personally, then, if it was between de Ligt and Yoro, I know Yoro's got high ceiling and that, but I would have actually preferred de Ligt because I feel like de took on Yoro, and yeah, United fans should be pretty happy, to be honest, with the business they've been doing. Now, in terms of outgoings at United, an interesting development happened with Jadon Sancho. So Jadon Sancho apparently has had sort of, I guess, apology talks and cleared the head with Eric Ten Hag, and he is now back in training and back on the pre-season tour, which is really, really interesting. Now, to be honest, I don't think this means Sancho is staying. I think it's just a case of United saying, okay, you know what, we realise that maybe there's not too much interest in you right now. If we just say, oh, Sancho, we're selling him at all costs, we don't want him in the team, he's not involved in pre-season training on his own with the reserves, not too many clubs are actually going to be like, you know what, let's go sign him. Whereas if United say, you know what, he's training, he's playing some pre-season games, maybe he can showcase something there, United actually have a bit more leverage when it comes to negotiations, and clubs might be interested in him. So, I personally do think that if they got a decent offer, if they got a reasonable offer, actually, they're definitely selling Sancho. I would actually be shocked if we saw Sancho staying at United when the window ends, but we'll see what happens there. Let me know in the comments below, United fans, if Sancho returned. Are you happy with him? Are you happy with him returning? I know a lot of United fans didn't want him back, so. And now, speaking of, I guess, rather controversial United players, maybe on a different sense, definitely on a different sense, Mason Greenwood. So Mason Greenwood's been sold to Marseille, around like £30 million, 50% sell-on clause as well. Now, from a United perspective, they had to do this. They had to get rid of him. There was no way they could keep hold of him. It's just, a PR disaster. Whatever you want to make of the morality and the ethics of the situation, even if they wanted to keep him, just for the brand of Man United, there was no way they were able to keep him. And they've actually negotiated a pretty good deal there, to be honest. A pretty good deal for him. From a Marseille perspective now, it's very interesting. Because they've been quite divided. I've seen the fan base about, signing Greenwood. Naturally, De Zerbi as well has kind of come under fire for his comments. He's really, really welcomed and pushed for the Greenwood move. But look, when I made my Greenwood, video on it, I said, he's a scumbag. We've all seen the videos and that, but at the end of the day, he is technically, innocent, I guess, in the eyes of the law, and needs to, I guess, get on with his career. Whatever happened there is not really Marseille's business. Obviously, they should be taking that into account, but it's, he needs to get on with his career, and Marseille have seen an opportunity to sign a good player, and they said, you know what, we know about his background, but as I said, in the eyes of the law, he's technically innocent, so yeah, they've gone and got him. We'll see how he does, and how the true reception by the fans are of him. But yeah, Greenwood is gone, and that whole saga, I guess, is done for now. And definitely a good move for him to get out of England. Is very, very wise. Get out of the spotlight. Right, elsewhere. In the Premier League, West Ham have made a couple moves. Now Jean-Claire Todibo, they agreed a deal for him, but apparently he doesn't actually want to join them, and he wants to hold out for Juventus. wants to play Champions League football. I will say if they do manage to get to Devo, that's a fantastic signing. Fantastic signing. West Ham have been making some moves this window. They signed Max Gilman as well, which, to be honest, I think they massively overpaid. They paid like 40 million for him. Gilman's a decent player. Obviously worked on Lopetegui before, but I don't know. I'm not entirely convinced by that signing. They signed that Luis Guilherme guy from Brazil as well. They also have put in a bid for N'Golo Conte, which was a massive shock. Did not expect that. Yeah, we'll see what happens with that one. Flynn Downs, they have sold though to Southampton on a permanent. He was there on loan last season and was really good. I'm actually surprised they sold him. He was really good at Southampton. I thought they were going to give him a chance, but that's a really good signing for Southampton. Aston Villa. They've signed Amadou Onana from Everton for around like 50 million. Big fee. Big signing. I guess he's sort of their Douglas Luiz replacement, if you like. And yeah, Onana, well, Andre Onana. Yeah, he's a really good player. We all kind of knew Everton had to sell one of their key players, and they've gone for Onana instead of Braithwaite. Pretty good fee they've got for him. And yeah, Onana, good player. I think he'll probably do pretty well at Villa. And yeah, that Villa midfield, I think it'll be a good replacement for Douglas Luiz. Different type of player, but he's a really solid player, and I think, yeah, good signing. They've also re-signed Jaden Philogene from Hull, who they sold last summer, and they've brought him back here. Really good signing. There was sort of like a bidding war around Philogene from other Prem clubs like Ipswich, I think, were involved. But he's gone back to Villa, and again, really good signing. He was absolutely superb for Hull in the Championship. Saw some highlights of him, in the Championship. It was really good. He just got that crazy Rabona goal as well. But yeah, very good signing, and Villa have been making some really decent moves so far this window. Obviously we're in the Champions League, so yeah, definitely bulking up that squad ready for the Champions League. Arsenal have been making some sales, getting rid of some deadwood, Tavares, Lokonga, they're gone. Smith Rowe as well. They've been getting some bids. Reportedly, I think Fulham put in a bid that was rejected. I think they definitely need to let go of Smith Rowe. If they get the right price, let him go. And personally, for Smith Rowe, I'll be pushing for a move. I know Arsenal is your boy, your club, and everything, but for the sake of your career, you're a really good player. Actually, you can easily go be a star for a mid-table Premier League side, so I think he needs to move, and I think he should definitely be moving this summer, and I think he probably will do. In terms of incomings at Arsenal, Ricardo Cagliari looks like that will probably take place, which is a bit of an interesting move. I'm not entirely sure if he's needed. He's obviously a great player, had a great Euros with Italy. Can play centre back and left back. I think the idea is that he'll play left back and do the inverted role, but I don't know. He's played there before, but not entirely, and he's also quite injury prone. He's a good player, but again, kind of similar to the Xerxes deal. I have no problem with signing him. It's just I thought there's other priorities and other players they would have prioritised to sign rather than Cagliari, but again, I guess the opportunity was there, so they said, we're taking him. Liverpool, I also wanted to talk about them. They've been really quiet. Like, really quiet. I've not heard anything about Liverpool making transfers, rumours. Not really sure what's going on there. Chelsea, we've signed Ronaldo Vega from Basel, this left back, who looks pretty decent, to be honest. And yeah, could be a bit of a depth option. We'll see how he does. We've also been linked with a new goalkeeper. So Robert Sanchez will be the number 1 next season, which I'm not happy with. I do not rate him at all. But we apparently want to sign another goalkeeper, and that likely means Petrovic is going to be sold, which I'm not really a fan of. I thought Petrovic was actually really, really good. He's better than Sanchez in my opinion. So I don't know what we're doing there. Now, interestingly, we obviously have Kepa returning from Real Madrid, but Real Madrid are thinking of keeping him, so they might buy him, and then Lunin at Real Madrid wants to leave, so there could be some sort of swap deal going on there. That would make sense, but yeah, we might be in the window for another goalkeeper, which if they're coming in to start, I'm happy with, but for a backup for Sanchez, no way, I'd rather not. We've also got a couple outgoings, and I guess this can kind of lead into Europe. Romelu Lukaku and Napoli, so we obviously have Lukaku still on the books, and Antonio Conte, Napoli manager, naturally, of course, wants his son, Romelu Lukaku. Absolutely adores this guy. So yeah, they're trying to make that deal happen, but it's all contingent on Victor Oshimen. Now, Victor Oshimen, I think Napoli expect him to leave. PSG are very, very interested in him. Apparently he's already accepted the personal terms and everything. But he just need to agree to fee from Napoli. And that's a big signing. That's a big signing. That's probably going to be the biggest signing of this window, to be honest. Obviously besides Mbappe, but yeah, Victor Oshimen. Oshimen to PSG. I think that makes the most sense. I think they're probably the only club in the world right now who can truly afford him and actually need him. Yeah, be their star man. Mbappe has left. They don't really have a star now. Oshimen comes in, be that star guy. I really, really do rate Oshimen very, very highly. Yeah, I think that deal will get done. I really do like that move for both parties involved. So yeah, Oshimen, his injury record's a bit concerning, but maybe going to Liga and he can get rotated a bit. Go to Marni and Ramos, and then in the big games, come in, Champions League games, come in and perform. So yeah, I think that makes me for everyone involved. Oshimen to PSG, then that probably will happen. It's just a matter of time. Be interested what the actual final fee is. Then Lukaku to Napoli. I think Lukaku would do great, and hopefully he can just get off the books at Chelsea. Let's talk about Saudi. Musa Diaby of Aston Villa is apparently wanted by, I think it's Al Ittihad. They're looking to sign him for like 60-65 mil. He wants to move as well, which if I'm Villa, definitely sell. I mean, Diaby was decent last season, but he wasn't amazing. Like, I think they did expect a little bit more for him, and you get. I can't remember exactly how much they paid for him, but it'll be about what they paid back for Diaby if they sell him. So yeah, for me that makes perfect sense. And Villa Jean coming in as well, so it's not a huge miss. Edison as well could be on his way to Saudi, and that will mean Man City might have to go sign a new goalkeeper. Although Ortega be the number 1, we'll see what happens there. But yeah, Edison to Saudi potentially. Oh, speaking of Man City, I completely forgot Savio has signed from Girona. At Man City, obviously their sister club, and just transferred him over for like 20 mil. Crazy. That's a fantastic signing. That is a really, really good signing. Savio was absolutely terrific for Girona. If he wasn't owned by Girona, I'm telling you, loads of top clubs would have gone in for Savio. He's a top player, and yeah, I think that's going to be one of those underrated signings. I think he's going to be really, really good. Maybe not instantly for City, but he's going to be really good. He's very dynamic. He likes getting that ball and running and dribbling and taking past players, which is something different in that Man City side. So yeah, I think it'll be a big signing for Man City. What else has happened? say it does feel kind of weird seeing him in a Real Madrid shirt now after all these years of talk. It just kind of feels just really surreal, but he's actually there. And yeah, things are looking scary for La Liga and the rest of Europe, to be honest, with Mbappe there now. Mbappe, Vinny, Rodrigo, Bellingham, Goulet, Valverde, Camavinga, Giovanni, gosh, I can go on and on and on. I saw this thing though, people were discussing what would be like a success for Mbappe at Real Madrid. Because realistically, you know, he's joining a team which literally just won the Champions League last season. So, you know, let's say Mbappe wins the Champions League with Real Madrid, it's like, okay, cool. But what's really a success? I feel some people saying, you know, you would have to give Real Madrid their first ever treble. And I'm kind of on the lines of that, potentially. Although, maybe not that high expectations, but to be honest, with this team that Real Madrid have built, maybe not this season, but in the future, that first treble could potentially be coming. Let's talk about their rivals, though, Barcelona. Of course, we're trying to stop that. Nico Williams, that deal looks like it could be progressing. Again, it's really depending on how much money they have, but I think he'll want to move. If they can get him, I know I've just been picking up Real Madrid, but if they can get him, Williams and Yamal on the wings, you know, under Hansi Flick, potentially Barca could potentially win that league and give Real Madrid a good challenge. They've also got Thiago Alcantara, who retired as a coach now, which is a really cool. You know, he's worked with Hansi Flick before, the Barca Academy, but La Masia product, so this is a great fit. I could definitely see Thiago becoming a manager one day, and a really good one. You know, he's worked under some fantastic managers, some great clubs. Typically, those guys tend to be good managers, so I reckon Thiago one day will be a good manager. What a baller, by the way. What a baller. Let's also talk a little bit about, finally, in the Bundesliga, Dani Olmo and Xavi Simons now. Bayern Munich apparently want both of them, or will sign one of them. Now, the Xavi Simons thing, I don't understand from a PSG perspective. They're going to loan him out again, like really, like, come on. Xavi Simons is good enough to start in your team as one of the best players in that side. He is a superb player and should be playing week in, week out for PSG. I don't know if it's Simons doesn't want to go to play for PSG, or is PSG not wanting him. I suspect it's PSG not wanting him and thinking he's ready yet, which makes no sense. At that point, just sell him, but like, why are you loaning him out again? Yeah. So Bayern Munich potentially could go get Xavi Simons, which would be a big move from them. But if they do not, then apparently we're going to go trigger that release call of the Dani Olmo, which would be another big move for them. And yeah, Bayern Munich have been making some really good moves, and you know, unconvinced about their manager Vincent Kompany, but they're really backed him and they've really overhauling this squad. So I really think the Bundesliga next season is going to be a really good league. In terms of that title, it's going to be really competitive between Leverkusen, between Munich. I think Dortmund under Nuri Sahin potentially could do something. Stuttgart, if they can manage to keep up their form. Leipzig, you know, there's some good teams in there. So yeah, watch that space. I'll be interested where Olmo goes, what happens with Simons. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I think that's about it. And that is about it in terms of European transfers and news. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have enjoyed, please leave a like, consider subscribing. I'll see you in another